I am so excited to be meeting with you all. We are talking about networking and breaking the mold. So, a brief overview of what we'll be chatting through today. So, I'll introduce myself. We're going to talk about the Mentra timeline and eventual updates and exciting things that we have moving here on the Mentra side. I know a lot of you have been trying to access the jobs on our platform, and I so appreciate all of your patience. We are working right now on the back end to build out a whole new user experience, and we'll get into that a little bit today. So, what is networking? We're going to rethink it a little bit and do an exercise because I love an exercise. And then we're going to talk through a few roles, two internships specifically that we have with two of our client partners here at Mentra. So, my name is Steph. I am the community manager and client success manager over here at Mentra. So, essentially, I focus on delivery. I make sure that y'all feel supported in the important work that you are doing, will be doing, you want to be doing. And I hopefully help work with our clients to get you those roles. So, I'm dyslexic. I'm an ADHDer, struggled with executive functioning my whole life, and I've always had sensory overload challenges. I'm an authenticity champion, turned my love for birds into a movement. You'll see some of that throughout here, but I'm a podcaster, I'm a writer, I'm a content creator. You can find me on TikTok and YouTube, learn about birds, and my ads are there for anyone who's interested. But I also host national bird tours. So for those of you that are in San Francisco, Seattle, New York City, whether you're traveling or just visiting, I'm there and I'm doing bird tours. So would love to have y'all there. All right. So let's get into a little bit of what you can expect to see with Mentra. So right now we're running a beta testing series that will be fully launched through October with our in-app experience. So initially we might see that on the Apple Play Store or the Apple Store and then expanding out into the Play Store. But this is our rough estimate. And if you're joining us from Discord, this might look familiar to you. Just want to make sure there isn't anyone who came in while I am chatting. All right, here we go. Okay, so moving into what this experience is going to look like. So we have a few ideas for how we are revamping the app, but essentially what we want to do is give you all a tool to help guide you along the way through your job seeking experience. So there will be various exercises for those of you that are testing our Career Clarity series right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about because that will be plopped into here, and you'll have different resources that you can use to hopefully upskill you if you're not already in the role that you're seeking, or support you in getting things like accommodations secured and chatting through those with our manatee. All right. Moving away from this, I want to address any questions because it looks like we've got a few coming through the chat. I love this. Myth states that they travel between the worlds. Oh my gosh, dragons! You should get in touch with Brendan Mulkin from Dropout TV, his command. I have heard that so many times. That's so amazing. You guys are so cool. I'm loving the chat, y'all. Just keep it coming. Keep it coming. All righty. So now we'll move into networking, the content that was promised to you all here. So I want to hear in the chat or see in the chat, y'all, what do you think or what do you feel networking is? I have a definition here, but this doesn't really feel like networking in the way that we talk about networking, right? The way that we interact with networking, especially since 2020, how has that changed? So we've got one comment. No update on the seal/manatee. We're working on the updates. The visuals have not. The visuals are adapting. Oh, Dave, you said a pain in my ass. Okay, that totally fair, you guys. I would have said the exact same thing. Goal-directed acquaintance making. Wow. Networking is very complicated social practice that is indeed a painful seating arrangement. That is a really good. These are really good ways to describe experiences with networking. More digital channels. Okay, that's really interesting. Absolutely. So that's something we might refer to as more of like an unconventional, outside of the box networking experience. So we're going to get into lots and lots and lots of those. But what you saw, and I'll come back to it a little bit later, but overall, what networking is, or idealistically what it is it's the process of building and maintaining relationships with people who can share knowledge, opportunities, support in your personal or professional life. So What does this often look like? Oh, we got three more comments. Neurotypical expectations every single time. Oh, that is so relatable. I kind of know what it is, but still a strange comment or concept. Yes, absolutely. It feels artificial, right? Like it can feel so artificial. Social stress to make business friends. That's another really good way to put it. So there's networking theory, but in my work life, I found that my networking experience is when someone who has worked with me picks me up like a teddy bear and hands me to someone else and says, "You need a Gina." Oh my gosh, I love that. It's like people seeing people and wanting to support them, not necessarily because of, you know, the value you provide, but because, they enjoy the experience of being around you. That's what networking should be, right? Munch says kind of like the photographic negative of resentment, how many people you meet versus how many people you carry with you. Artificial 100%. Hello all. Oh, Peter, glad you're in. Welcome, welcome. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We're just chatting about networking. So you all hit the nail like exactly on the head of what I was going to share. Often we think networking is loud spaces, it's packed places, uncomfortable environments, so many new faces. So many new faces. They're often substance focused, which can be at times difficult for folks who aren't substance users. They can often take a lot of time to convert into roles and they can be excessively formal. So those things often lead people to think that networking and traditional networking, well, networking can be useless. The first I ever worked at was a help desk, giving more than receiving. Yes. Yes, giving more than receiving, proving value, and vice versa. Yeah, it feels like you have to like show off. It feels inorganic, right? Hi, Steph, joining from Ontario. Oh, happy you're here. Happy you're here. Ontario. California. Awesome. All right. And all of these photos depict exactly what we've been talking about is these transactional relationships that we're supposed to figure out how to interact within. Well, what is the problem with networking as a endears? And I feel like the something I want to emphasize is that while we are the people that are saying, "Hey, this isn't working," we are not the problem, my friends. We are the people that are coming through and seeing this problem with networking, and we can use our passion, our excitement, our drive to remake what networking looks like today. We've got a few more comments. Inorganic. Yes, yeah. Tailoring yourself to each person you meet. Yeah, it can feel overly catered to your listener when really it should just be about sharing you. Canada. Oh, can you see my cat in the background? Thank you for saying we're not the problem. Actually, I'm absolutely paralyzed with the networking stuff. No, I completely get it. I mentioned earlier, I live in New York City. It can be incredibly hard when I first started living here. I was like, how am I gonna figure this out? How am I going to network in a city that feels so big? And it felt so daunting. And I realized that networking wasn't working because it doesn't work for everyone. And the approach is conventional, it's standardized, which means that us as experientialists, we're getting an experience that's boring, it's predictable, it's unrelatable, it can be overly outcome focused, and it can be often led by non-neurodivergent folks, which means that things like accommodations or adjusting needs or overstimulating environments can become really important conversations to be able to have. And when you don't have access. Oh, Ojel's kidding. Oh no, oh my gosh, Ojel, that's awesome. You have a cat. Rather go back to kindergarten, which is the goal of social sites like LinkedIn, but bots and scams really cute. Yeah, who can make friends with strangers. Yeah, you guys, it's not, it can. So we're talking right now about traditional networking. I'm going to this event and I will chat with X amount of people. Let's think about networking a little bit differently. And the way I want to start thinking about networking is by thinking about neuro inclusion first. And when I think about formats that have also worked for neurodivergent folks, a lot of those have been mostly digital, and a lot of those have been mostly interest focused. And I think that that is where we can actually hack and make a significant change in what networking looks like today. So I have a few examples up here. They're a little daunting to say something like host events, but I'll show you a few photos that make those events not seem as daunting. So we have LinkedIn Connecting. We talked about LinkedIn a little bit earlier. I know it's completely, it can be like mimicries of that inorganic environment, but if you're able to find someone who has the same passion and interest as you, say, could someone throw in maybe a special interest in the chat, or maybe we need a channel on the Discord? Hold, is this a scam? That could be a good. Okay, so I'll go with birds for just a second. The way that I have taken my networking approach to, oh, we'll use guitar and sing. Okay, all right. So Munch, say you're going on LinkedIn and you're finding someone with the same job title, but you go on their profile and they don't have, they don't necessarily have their personality trickled through. Maybe they don't have their interests, which is normal for a LinkedIn profile. I encourage you all, I'll drop in my LinkedIn page so you all can connect with me, but my name is just Stephanie Minaya, and then my page is that quirky bird girl. So you can get an idea for what it looks like in making your interests really holistically focused on your LinkedIn. And if there's anything that you have questions about, y'all, feel free to reach out to me. But what you'll want to do is hone in on what their interests are, less about their job. Their job is what they do. And it's awesome. And that will get us convertible. Can you please make your page clickable? Yeah, let's see. I have a link for you guys. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Was that Catherine? Thank you, Catherine. And then if y'all have any questions about my page, about building a page from where it is today to reflecting who you truly are, I'd be happy to chat with any of you, but also taking a shift and focus on what the event type is. Maybe there are events out there for, like, there are screenwriter events or there are filmmaker events, and people just get together and they talk about their passion projects, less what they're working on. So there could be events or opportunities on platforms like Eventbrite, Luma, and mind you, a lot of these, specifically speaking to the screenwriter community, there are complete Discord communities where they engage just on a voice channel. So you have the opportunity to meet people in a way that works for you, whether that be using a chat feature or using your voice. Recently, we had someone on a demo day who was using an AI bot to speak. And so really it's about networking, meeting you where you are at, as opposed to you having to meet it. Okay, I'm obsessed with ending boring PowerPoint presentations. There's a book series for anyone who wants to connect. Yes, y'all, send your LinkedIns in the chat. Definitely. James is not a bot. I can vouch. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Okay. And then things like informational interviews. We've talked about this over on our Discord a few times, and how you can leverage your current connections of connections to meet them, to learn more about their interests, to learn about how they operate in their day-to-day. There are so many questions, and I have a prompt that I can share with you all after this, our call here. I just want to come back to the chat. What if you work in a staunch or stoic type field where the expectation is to show no personality, and not conforming hurts you more than helps you in the with networking within that field? Okay, my friend. Ojel, I have an interesting answer to this because I actually have worked in environments like this. I come from corporate, I work in startups now, but when I was in corporate, I always felt like I was like diminishing my personality and like diluting myself for something that didn't feel right. So I relate to what you're saying. My recommendation is it's not about you, it's about them. They're not comfortable with you being yourself. And so my biggest recommendation is just be you. I know that at times can be a little uncomfortable as the user, and I'm not sure if that puts your role in sort of a different position. I will say that, like, for myself, I have been consistently year over year been pushed into environments where my personality can shine as bright as possible. So maybe it's also thinking about, are there other work environments that are maybe more suited to you showing your personality. Because let's be real, you guys, masking is really hard. Masking is really, really, really hard. And to have to continuously do it, it can take a toll. So if there is any way where you can bring your personality out, even if it's just like a little, perk up during a meeting, but taking slow steps to align with who you are more, because honestly, they're going to be uncomfortable with us neurodivergent folks, probably even without us often realizing it. And so oftentimes it's also a matter of saying like, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be here anyways. You know, you were hired because you have such a valuable vision, voice, and diluting that for other people. I never think it's worth it, you guys. Okay. All right. True. Take up space. Yes, yes, take up space. You deserve all the space. Like, and in fact, triple it, double it, you guys, quadruple it. Because the more we take up space, the more it allows other people after us to be like, hey, actually, she can do it. So why can't I? And then you're just building this like trickle down effect of all of these people being themselves authentically. And that's what it takes for the change that allows you to be yourself. So my advice is just as much courage as you can muster up. And if there's a day that you need to take a break and be a little bit more stoic, then you can, because masking is not the easiest. But thank you, Odell, for that question. Accommodations first approach. So that often happens in those Discord communities that I was talking about. And I did it when we jumped on this call too, acknowledging what accommodations we've made and if there are any more that we can make. So that's a really good sign in an event host as you're attending or hopefully attending events. And you saw a few minutes ago that our Mentra page is going to have this section of events. Now, this is pretty exciting because this gives you the opportunity to create events around your interests. And it doesn't have to be networking. It could literally, you know what? My events on there, they're going to be called bird watching, a bird walk, and oftentimes it's things like that where we're not getting people thinking about work that actually allows us to use those relationships and advance those relationships forward. So coming back to the chat. Okay, we've got LinkedIn's. I've learned, and it's been difficult, that people accepting you in spite of who you are isn't the answer. Be around people who love you because of who you are. Yes. And then Mona, you asked a really good question. What could be a reasonable accommodation during recruitment? If you're asked to do a case study and record your presentation, the hiring manager will be viewing everyone's videos. So I think whenever someone asks about accommodations, my question always goes back to what your needs are. Because there are certainly accommodations that you can make, like, for example, like video off, maybe having additional time, or maybe asking that it not be recorded and you send along, like, there are those bots that will do like the clicking track, like it'll track your clicks. So maybe using something like that as an alternative. But I think thinking innovatively about what impacts you and what would be most beneficial for you to get that role. So I want to show you all what networking can look like. Okay. So I talked a little bit about Discord, how it can happen. We're making networking fun. We're going on Discord. We're doing the voice channels. There are other communities, as I said, that do that too. It's a great way to get to know people, and you can always create the space and just say like, hey, I'm looking for a job. This is my LinkedIn, even if it's not a job space. There's a certain degree of putting ourselves out there that might feel a little bit comfortable in the moment, but I promise you guys, it's totally worth it. Okay. In these photos are a bunch of people, but most of them are autistic and most of them work in tech. Now, a few of these people are actually working together today, which is interesting enough, but they met at these bird walks. And so networking can truly be the environment that you create, but it's about also finding those spaces. And I've given a few examples on where we could go to find those, but it can also be one-to-one, meeting someone at an event, and maybe they're so engaging that you just want to chat with them all evening. Maybe it happens. I talked about LinkedIn. There are so many different places where we can engage with other people And there was a comment from Ojel. It sometimes feels like asking for accommodations can turn hiring panels off in this competitive job market when someone else who doesn't need accommodations will be taking your spot. I think that's it's a good point to call out, Ojel, because it can be incredibly competitive throughout the hiring process. And I think that as long as we are putting our best foot forward and doing the best work that we know that we can do. And then also just being ourselves on those interview calls, as long as you're standing out to those hiring managers and they're looking at your name and saying, like, oh, I recall her, or I recall him, or I recall them because they did this during the interview or on their resume. I talk a lot about having something along the lines of like a what's it. Basically, what a what's it is I don't have one on right now, but for me, they're bird patches and I put them on literally everything. And it gives people an opportunity to just come up to me and easily talk to me. So having something along those lines that you can really draw them in at the interview or even before the interview. And we can do another call too, talking about what accommodations look like and how to give yourself the foot forward in that. So I really appreciate that, Ojel. And Gina said this, I know it's bad to think, but frequently I find myself wondering if people can hire a person who is not disabled, why would they hire me in this day and age? You have something special. Each and every single one of you on this call has something special about you that you bring to the table that literally no other person can or would be able to bring. So even though we're looking at all these candidates, I look through so many different job seeker profiles. And I tell you guys, like, I find something unique that excites me about every single person that I look through. So there's something about you that you might not be seeing that they see and they're like, yeah, I need this person. There's no other person. And there are ways that you can go about giving them that if you feel like maybe they aren't seeing the value. But if there's an employer who's not seeing that value in your resume, then maybe we could talk about like sharing early on in the job seeker stage too. So many events can cost too. I have no income right now, so going to the events I want is very difficult. That's another really, really good point. I will say with the Discord community and with networking across LinkedIn that there are a few options that are low income to free. However, that doesn't mean that your time isn't also a cost in attending those events. So when I first started going to events, I like spanned out far. I was like, I'm gonna do 20 events a week and I'm gonna figure out what I like, figure out what I hate. Don't do that, y'all. Don't do that. That was a little overwhelming for me. But what you can do is you can find a few events that are maybe free, maybe held virtually, and maybe at a good time that works for you. And hopefully that would meet you where you're at. But yeah, the in-person events, I can understand that they're a little bit more costly and maybe inaccessible too. For example, I will say the bird tour that I just showed you. Oops. So, geez. This is a free bird tour. This is a free bird tour. This is a free event. So there are some free events, but it's about finding them too. So, and that's something we hope to have as a hub in Mentra for you all as free only events. But yeah, you are correct. Inaccessible to the financially limited. And also just from an information perspective, a lot of these events are they're like gatekept to specific platforms. So if there's a way that we can expand access via reach too, and making people feel supported, like that is exactly what we want to do here at Mentra. So I feel too competitive, 2 job interviews now for low wage entry level jobs. Yeah, you're seeing a competitive job market. Definitely, y'all, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. I'm Mentra support over on Discord. So if anyone has any questions, that's also a great platform to get in touch with me. But also send me an email for like 5 to 10 job titles you're looking for if you're actively seeking a job right now. And we can hopefully find some of those roles if we have them active sourcing with our clients. And if we don't have them active sourcing, you guys, I'm always on LinkedIn. I would be so happy to send along links to share that on my profile, whatever it is. We want to be helping you find find your dream jobs. It's a historic slump, so I know it's not just me. No, you guys, it's not you. I promise it's not you. It's so easy to think that the job market is a reflection of your worth and your value, but I promise it's not. You all have so much value. I said this a little bit earlier, but how do we beat these ATS trackers? It's a really good question. A lot of people say fight AI with AI. I'm not necessarily inclined to believe the same, but I do think there can be benefit to having an like a resume reviewer or a resume matcher so that you can get insight into what the ATS is seeing, not necessarily to update your resume, but more than anything, just for insight on what they're looking for. Gina, you're amazing. Fight computer with computer. Ask your AI search. That's so smart. I tried the all white layer using InDesign, but called out for trying to beat the system. Oh, yeah, I'd definitely be interested in learning more about your experience there because we have been sharing a few tools on the Discord community, but if they aren't effective in that way, I would love to explore other ways that we can. Geez, they should be impressed that you understand the system referrals and networking. Is Mentra on Spiceworks? No, what is Spiceworks? I'll just take a picture of that.
It's both a help desk platform and a social network for IT people.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I'll check it out. Thank you so much, Munch. Okay, and then Leo said, thank you. I'm looking into tech jobs. I'm currently working on a master's in CS. Oh my God. Awesome. Masters. That is so cool. Congratulations. And yeah, we're hiring for tech. So love the engagement in the chat, you guys. Just want to close this out a little bit on a few ways to build events around interests, if that is something that you're interested in. These are all, well, not all. These Eventbrite, Luma, and Mentra are all free platforms. You can host something around your interest. You could host something in a Discord, on like a voice channel, something that meets you where you're at, but also getting out there and meeting some new people. And if this does not entice you at all. For those of you that are interested, I have a script here and I could send that along to you all. But there's also some cold outreach that you can do on LinkedIn. So I included this prompt here and I will go ahead. I'm going to send this to you all in the chat too so that you have it. But that is a great prompt that is interest driven, not necessarily focused on the role, even though we're acknowledging it. And you can adjust this to fit whatever need you might have. So the goal of something like this, of sending an email or a message like this, is to do something with them along the lines of an informational interview. So I've talked about this in the past, but essentially what an informational interview is sitting down with someone, whether it be on phone call, if that's what works for you, or else. And you can ask them questions about their role, about their passion, about their interests, about integration. Odell, this would be a really great idea for you too, just thinking about how you can bring yourself authentically to your workplace. Although I should say, like all of the work, well, the work should not be all put on you. Like I think unfortunately, at least in the interim, when we get people invigorated about your energy, like it might be a little on you. And I think that this is a great way to lessen some of that burden because you're not the only person who has struggled with bringing their authentic self to the workplace. Sort of finding the degree that feels comfortable for you will be helpful with additional input, I think. Coming back to the chat, the job market itself is terrible in general right now. The markets are doing great despite the political environment. Also, the unemployment statistics are misleading. The most commonly reported statistic is in the Commerce Department's U3 measure. They have 6 total unemployment metrics. Whoa. Also, there's a lack of tracking for people who have given up or run out of employment insurance. What is cold outreach? Okay, that might have been a little, sorry, you guys. Good question. Yeah, reaching out to someone that you don't already know. So it's basically just sharing with them, like, hey, I thought you were really cool. I want to get to know more about you. Can I talk to you more? I think that that's more so the goal. And oftentimes those relationships will turn into something where they want to help you or those people will want to help you. It's just about stating clearly your goals. So I included just a little bit about that. And I would love if you guys could test out one of these unconventional networking tactics and let me know what you think. I will connect with you all over on LinkedIn so you can give me feedback on how it's going, if it was stalled, where it stalled. and supporting you along, getting used to our new networking, or that they've been. Okay, thank you, Gina. Sorry, just coming to the comments. Please tell me if I'm talking too much. I got this. I have something. No, I love this. I love this, you guys. Okay. All right. So that was everything on our unconventional networking side. I want to share with you all a few internships that we're working through right now. I think I'm hearing some background. John, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, but all right, there we go. Okay, let me know anyone if we're still getting some background noise. But in terms of roles, we have our front end engineer internship. So this is, for the most part, an entry-level internship, and you'll be working directly with engineers, designers, and product teams. So if anyone's interested in this role, reach out to me. Actually, that goes across Amazon. If there are Amazon roles that anyone on this call is interested in, send me an email. I can relate. Steph, your enthusiasm and knowledge are very encouraging. This has been very uplifting. Oh my goodness, Dave, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You all give me the fire to know that we can create a better world, you guys. Like, we can create the world that works for us. I just know it, and we're going to. Thank you. Very useful info. Are you sharing the slide links too? Yes, I'll be sharing the slide links. I'm interested. I live 30 miles away. Okay, that's awesome. So send me an email. I'll just resurface my email real quickly. And then I post about jobs in our Discord community. If you're not already in our Discord, then I encourage you to join. It's a pretty fun community, and you'll get product updates as well. So, well, over the next month, you'll be receiving product updates. We're still working on building that out. With Honeywell, we have another internship. So this is a cybersecurity focused internship, and this does offer relocation support. So it's in person, and Honeywell is also hiring. Yes, join the Discord. Yeah, Honeywell is also hiring across a bunch of entry-level engineer positions and mid-level positions. So if anyone is interested at working with Honeywell, I will say they have been amazing. Their internal team is just so accommodating. Every single time we have an accommodations request that comes from a candidate, they've been able to fulfill it with just the grace that you would hope for of every single organization. So I really encourage y'all, if you're looking for, oh, Jen, you applied to a honey role today, send me the link via email. Send me the link of the job that you hired, that you applied to. And yes, reach out to me. Send me an email with the link, include your resume and then your Mentra profile, and I can make sure and we'll coordinate with the internal Honeywell teams that your application is seen. And that goes for everyone. You could apply like any, so that goes across Microsoft, Amazon, and Honeywell. That's awesome. Yes, isn't that awesome? See, like I love it. I love it. And we're working on integrating this into the platform. So once we do have the app up and running, you guys will be able to see a lot of this communication. The cyber internship is for folks in college, or anyone can apply. They do have the internship pretty open. The one in Amazon is a little bit more closed, but the cybersecurity internship with Honeywell, I don't believe you have to be a recent graduate, but either way, Daniel, send me an email along with your resume, because they just started recruiting. Like, they don't even have a job description, you guys. Like, that's how early we are catching them, which is a really good advantage for us in getting you placed. So send me an email and include your resume, and I'll send it along to Honeywell. Will do. Thank you, Steph. Of course, of course, of course. All right. So I want to leave some time a little bit for Q&A. If anyone has any questions, I threw so much content at you today. So I appreciate everyone just being such amazing chatting and just so receptive to this change that we're going to be making.
Oh, is it possible you could once again show the slide with the front end engineering Amazon position?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Front end engineer internship. Okay. I just want to see what the title is.
Yeah.
It says
Thanks for
multiple
asking.
cities, but it says Seattle, Washington, but I'm in California. So will it, like, what other cities is this based
Oh,
in?
oh, they have like cities pretty much in every, or I mean, headquarters in almost every major city. So yeah, they probably have one nearby if you're near like a major city. But
Yeah. They have I think, did you say South California, Oakland, California, and San Francisco? They also have New York City, Chicago. There might be a few that I'm missing there. I think there might be one in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
say San Francisco?
I did. Yeah, San Francisco.
Oh, great. That's like right in my area.
Oh my gosh, wait. Okay, you guys, now I have to share with you all. I am hosting a bird tour in San Francisco, a free bird tour. So if anyone's interested in joining, I can actually you're gonna see a little bit of my back end. That was a weird way to say that. Let's see. Okay. For anyone that is based out of San Francisco, you are welcome to attend the bird tour. It's free. So oh, okay, we got a raised hand. Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Thanks again, Steph, for everything you do, by the way. The internship, is it like for a PM or are they looking for hands-on technical, hard technical folks? I mean, my background, I worked on tech space for a long time as a tech resource, but recently I switched over to the PM side. So I was just curious what they were looking for in terms of interns.
Yeah, really, really good question. They are looking across departments. So they don't necessarily have a limitation in the types of roles that they're sourcing for this internship. I would say it would be worthwhile to share, if you could, in the email that you send me, a few different job titles that you would be interested in that are adjacent to the cybersecurity. It sounds like project manager might be one of them, or product manager. I might have misheard you, but either of those we could explore internally once we send along your resume.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. James asked, how long will it be for the new types of jobs to show up on Mentra? Oh, thank you, James, so much for this question. We are aiming and steaming full force ahead over the next 2 weeks. We will have those roles on the platform. Ideally, we'll also have the app up and running so you can go into the app and see the roles on your phone as well. So that's kind of our ambition over the next 2 weeks. Are you sharing these slides? Sorry, I can't remember if I already asked this question. I am sharing these slides, so I'll be sending them along to you all. I will share them over on Discord. So is everyone on Discord?
I do. I have Discord.
Amazing. Are you in our Discord community?
I just joined it yesterday.
Perfect. Okay. Well, hopefully everyone is in it. And if not, let me just send along a link to join. Just, good to cover all of our bases. Okay. Awesome. All right. I am not in the Discord. Oh, Jel. Okay. I just sent the link. Yes, we have a lot of fun. Yes, we do. And then don't know about everyone, but I'm not on Discord, but keen to join. James, I missed your message. It says we'll be able to download the transcript of this session. I can download the transcript and upload it onto, goodness, what am I? Download the transcript onto Discord. So let me just make a note of that. Transcript and deck. I'll probably be sending those closer to tomorrow, midday, but I'll have those prepped and ready in Discord for everyone. Creative space would be a dream job for me, but I'm also good at technical writing. Ooh, Gina, we could talk about creative for some time because I am very much in the space. I resemble that remark. I have about 3 years doing as a primary job function, another 10 to 12 as secondary. That's awesome, Munch. Tech is fun, and I use a lot in creative spaces, but Mentra seems tech first right now. I would say that we definitely have a history of not necessarily being tech first in the past, but focusing heavily on getting tech out to candidates. I think our focus is definitely shifting now into focusing on like the candidate experience, how we can enrich you all, how can we make the job seeker experience better for you all and make it clear to you all that you are not the problem. But it's not always obvious where the neuro part ends and the psych Heart Begins. This is another potential ally organization. Ooh, thank you so much. You guys have been so amazing. We are so lucky. Oh, how many desired job titles did you want to send us in the email? Was it 5? 5. Yep, 5. Thank you, Gina. And that was related to the Career Clarity series. You guys, you are all so amazing. Thank you so much for joining this session. Like I said, I'll be sharing the deck, and I'm not trying to pull down the transcript, but I'll figure it out and we'll get that for you guys. But thank you so much for joining. I hope you all recognize just how amazing you are. And I know that employers are going to see that. And if they don't, you're amazing here, and keep coming back to Mentra Spaces. We're going to keep doing these sessions. So I can't wait to see you guys at the next one. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. Have a good Friday. Bye. Thanks, James. Thank everyone. Thanks, Munch.